The Deep Space Monitoring Station sat quiet in the early hours. Most of the crew slept while night shift workers watched screens of star maps and signal readings. Tom Wilson, the midnight communications officer, almost missed it. A faint beep from an old console in the corner of the room. "That's strange," Tom said, walking over to check the signal. The console had picked up something from far beyond where humans had ever traveled. He pressed a few buttons to boost the signal. The message repeated. It wasn't in any Earth language, but the tone was clear even without translation. Fear, urgency, desperation. Tom called his boss right away. "Commander Reed, you need to see this." Commander Alex Reed arrived at the station within an hour. A tall man with short gray hair and eyes that had seen too many battles on Earth. He now faced something completely new. "How far?" Reed asked, looking at the signal pattern on the screen. "About 40 light-years, sir, from the Cassiopeia direction." Reed nodded. "And we're sure it's not human?" "Positive, sir. The signal uses patterns we've never seen before." Within days, the best scientists from around the world gathered to study the message. They worked nonstop, feeding the signal through computers and comparing it to all known languages. Dr. Lani, the lead linguist, finally made the breakthrough. "It's a mathematical language," she explained to the room full of military leaders. "The basics translate clearly. It's a distress call from a species called the Trill." On the main screen, she showed the translated message. "Help us. Vorn ships destroy our worlds. We are peaceful, cannot fight. Any who hear, please help." The room fell silent. General Parker, head of Earth Defense, spoke first. "We don't know these aliens. This could be a trap. Or it could be exactly what it seems," Reed countered. "A peaceful species being attacked by aggressors." "We have our own problems on Earth," said another official. "Why should we risk our ships and people?" Reed stood up. "Because we can. Earth is what alien species call a death world. A planet with high gravity, extreme weather, and dangerous wildlife. We evolved to survive these conditions. We're stronger, faster, and more durable than most species in the galaxy." He pointed to the message. "These Trill probably evolved on a gentle world. No predators, perfect weather, low gravity. They never needed to fight. But we did. We've been fighting our whole history." The debate lasted for days. Some nations wanted nothing to do with alien problems. Others sought a chance to test their military strength. A few felt a moral duty to help. In the end, the United Earth Council voted to respond. They would send help. Not just one ship, but a fleet. The first human fleet to leave the solar system. Reed was named Fleet Commander. His first call was to his old friend, Captain J. Lee. "They're giving you command," Jay asked over the video call. Reed nodded. "I need your ship as my flagship." The Horizon was Earth's newest battleship. Fast, powerful, and equipped with experimental jump drives that might allow it to reach the Trill in time. "It's going to be dangerous," Reed warned. "We don't know what these Vorn are capable of." Jay smiled. "That's why they need us Deathworlders, right?" In the weeks that followed, ships from around Earth gathered in orbit. Some countries sent their best warships. Others contributed medical vessels or supply carriers. All volunteers, all aware they might never return. On the bridge of the Horizon, Reed looked at the fleet assembled before him. 27 ships, the best Earth could offer. "Send the message," he ordered. The radio officer nodded. "Sending now, sir." Across the stars, a simple reply traveled back to the desperate Trill. "We heard you. We are coming. Hold on." The fleet prepared to jump. Commander Reed worked quickly. Earth had just 7 days to gather its best warriors before the jump window closed. His first stop was Tokyo Space Command, where the stealth destroyer Silent Thunder waited in dry dock. "Captain Hero," Reed called as he walked onto the bridge. "I need your ship." Captain Hero stood by the viewing window, a small man with quick eyes that missed nothing. His ship was the quietest in the fleet, able to slip past enemy sensors unseen. "For what mission?" Hero asked, not looking away from his ship. "Aliens need our help. Peaceful race called the Trill. They're being attacked by something called the Vorn." Hero turned. "And why should Earth get involved?" Reed showed him the message on his tablet. "Because no one else can help them. We're Deathworlders, Hero. We evolved on a planet that tried to kill us every day. That made us strong." After a moment, Hero nodded. "Silent Thunder will be ready in 2 days." Next, Reed flew to the Russian space station, where Captain Sonia prepared her battleship Ursa Major for routine patrol. "The biggest guns in the fleet," Reed said, looking at the massive ship through the station window. Sonia laughed. "Not just big. Accurate. My gunners can hit a target the size of your hand from orbit." When Reed explained the mission, Sonia's face grew serious. "These Trill, they have no weapons at all. Their message suggests they're completely peaceful, never needed to fight." "Everyone needs to fight sometimes," Sonia said quietly. "We will teach them." In Africa, Reed found Captain Aid testing new fighters for his carrier, Savannah Strike. The Nigerian captain watched his pilots fly through training runs. "An alien war?" Aid asked when Reed finished explaining. "You're asking a lot." "I'm asking for volunteers only," Reed said. "But we need your pilots. They're the best." Aid looked at the young men and women climbing from their fighters, tired but proud. "And what will Earth gain from this? New friends, maybe new technology, or nothing at all except knowing we helped when no one else would." Aid smiled slowly. "My grandfather used to say that a person who saves a stranger gains a friend for life. Perhaps the same is true among the stars." The last ship Reed needed was the Ganges Vanguard, commanded by Captain Raj. The Indian cruiser had the most advanced shields and sensors Earth had built. Raj was not easy to convince. "My first duty is to Earth's protection," he insisted. Reed nodded. "I understand. But think about this. If the Vorn destroy the Trill, who will they attack next? Maybe Earth. Better to fight them there than here." Finally, Raj agreed. "We will join your fleet. But I want full scans of all alien technology we encounter. Earth should learn from this mission." 7 days later, all 27 ships gathered in Earth orbit. The crews worked around the clock, loading supplies and weapons. Many were scared, but none backed out. On the Horizon's main deck, Reed addressed the fleet captains one last time. "We're about to make history," he said. "The first human fleet to fight beyond our solar system. The Trill called for help, and we answered. They don't know us. They don't know that humans evolved on a world that makes us natural warriors." Captain Sonia raised her glass. "To the Deathworlders." The others joined in. "To the Deathworlders." As the captains returned to their ships, Reed felt the weight of command. These people trusted him. They were following him into unknown danger. "Fleet status," he asked his bridge officer. "All ships report ready, Commander." Reed nodded. "Then let's go save some aliens." The jump drives powered up across the fleet. Blue energy surrounded each ship. In moments, they would leave Earth behind and enter the great unknown. Reed gave the order, "Jump." The jump to hyperspace felt like being turned inside out. Light bent around the ships, stars stretched into lines, and then darkness swallowed the fleet. For the crews, it was 3 seconds of stomach-turning disorientation. In reality, they traveled further in those moments than any human had gone before. "Jump complete," reported the navigator on the Horizon's bridge. "All ships present and accounted for." Reed let out the breath he'd been holding. The experimental drives had worked. They were now in deep space, halfway to the Trill homeworld. "Send the signal to all ships," he ordered. "Begin training exercises immediately. We have 4 days until the next jump." Across the fleet, crews prepared for war against an enemy they had never seen. Fighter pilots from Captain Aid's carrier practiced combat maneuvers. Gunners on Sonia's battleship ran firing drills. Captain Hero's stealth team rehearsed infiltration tactics. On the third day, Reed called a meeting of all ship captains aboard the Horizon. "We need to work as one fleet," he told them. "Earth's nations have fought each other for centuries. Now we must fight together." Captain Raj frowned. "My crew follows Indian protocols. They are the best in the world. As are my Russian gunners," Sonia added. The room grew tense as other captains defended their training methods. Reed waited until they finished. "Every nation has strengths," he said finally. "We will use them all. Captain Hero's stealth techniques, Captain Aid's fighter formations, Captain Sonia's artillery precision, Captain Raj's shield configurations. Together, we are stronger than alone." Slowly, the captains nodded. Earth's first united fleet would combine their best tactics. That night, as Reed slept in his quarters, alarms blared throughout the ship. "Emergency in Engine Room 3, a voice called over the speakers. Reed ran to the engine room to find chaos. One of the jump drive cores had failed, leaking dangerous radiation. "Seal it off," he ordered. "What happened?" Chief Engineer Lopes pointed to a small device attached to the core. "Sabotage, sir. Someone planted this to blow during our next jump." A search of the ship revealed nothing, but on the Silent Thunder, Captain Hero made a discovery. One of his technicians was missing. "Ben Green," Hero reported over the secure channel. "Or that was his name. His quarters are empty. He must have planted the device, then escaped in a life pod." Reed's blood ran cold. "Run his face through our database." Hours later, they had their answer. Ben Green had joined Earth's space program 3 years earlier. His background checks were perfect. Too perfect. "He's a Vorn spy," Reed told his officers. "They'd been watching us for years." Repairs took a full day, delaying their journey. As workers fixed the damage, Reed worried about what else the spy might have done. Had he sent messages to the Vorn? Did they know humans were coming? The answer came as they prepared for their final jump. A small probe drifted toward the fleet, broadcasting a message in perfect English. "Humans of Earth, return to your world. The affairs of advanced species are not your concern. This is your only warning." Reed ordered the probe destroyed. Then he addressed the fleet. "The Vorn know we're coming. They fear us enough to try to stop us. That means we can hurt them. That means we can win." Across 27 ships, humans prepared for battle. "Final jump in 3 minutes," came the announcement. Reed took his command chair. "Take us to the Trill." The fleet vanished into hyperspace, heading toward war. The fleet emerged from hyperspace at the edge of Trill territory. What they found shocked even the most hardened soldiers. Planet-sized scars marked where orbital stations had once circled worlds. Debris fields stretched for thousands of miles. The destruction was complete. "Scan for life signs," Reed ordered, his voice tight. For hours, the fleet moved through the wreckage, searching for survivors. Captain Raj's sensors swept each planet they passed. "All dead. All ruined." "Commander," said the communications officer, "I'm picking up a signal. Very weak. Coming from the 4th moon of that gas giant." Reed straightened. "Send the response code I prepared. Let them know we're from Earth." Minutes passed. Then a reply came through with visual. On the main screen appeared a being unlike anything humans had seen before. Tall and slender, with pale blue skin that seemed almost transparent. 4 arms moved gracefully as it spoke, its large eyes blinking slowly. "Earth humans," it said in a musical voice. "I am Ambassador Lynx of the Trill Collective. You received our distress call." Reed stepped forward. "We did. We came to help. What happened here?" Lynx's eyes darkened. "The Vorn. They attacked without warning 3 cycles ago. Our outer worlds fell first. We had no defenses. The Trill have never needed weapons." The ambassador explained that surviving Trill had hidden on the small moon, using its magnetic field to mask their presence. Only a few thousand remained from a civilization of billions. "May we dock at your base?" Reed asked. We should meet in person. Hours later, Reed led a small team into the Trill moonbase. The difference between humans and Trill became immediately obvious. The air was thin, the gravity weak. While the humans moved with confident steps, the Trill glided as if weightless. Lynx met them in a crystal chamber. Our worlds were paradise, the ambassador said. Gentle weather, low gravity, no dangerous animals. We evolved to think, to create, to explore science and art. Not to fight, Reed finished. We did not need to fight, Lynx replied. Until the Vorn came. Captain Sonia looked around at the beautiful Trill architecture. Why would the Vorn attack you? What do they want? Resources, slaves. But most of all, they fear. Fear what? Asked Reed. Lynx pointed to the humans. Deathworlders, species like yours who evolved on harsh planets. The Vorn believe all such species must be controlled or destroyed before they spread through the galaxy. The revelation hit Reed like a physical blow. They're hunting Deathworlders, and they attacked you to draw us out. Perhaps, Lynx admitted, but now you are here, and you have something we lack. Weapons, said Captain Hero. The will to fight, corrected Lynx. We have technology far beyond yours, but we cannot use it for war. It goes against our very nature. Reed looked at his fellow humans, then back to the Trill. Then we have a deal to offer. You give us your technology. We'll give you our protection. For the first time, Lynx's expression showed something like hope. You would defend a species you just met. That's what humans do, Reed said simply. We protect our own. And now, you're with us. The alliance was formed. Humanity's first interstellar war had begun. The next 3 days passed in a blur of activity. Trill engineers worked alongside human technicians, upgrading Earth's warships with alien technology. What would have taken humans decades to develop was installed in hours. It's amazing, Captain Raj said, watching Trill workers attach new shield generators to his ship. These systems are 50 years beyond our best designs. Reed nodded. And their sensors can detect Vorn ships from twice the distance of ours. But they never built weapons. Until now, said Lynx, joining them. The Trill ambassador moved with a new urgency. We have adapted our energy systems to your weapon platforms. The modifications are complete. Reed gathered his captains for a final strategy meeting. The plan was bold but necessary. They would split the fleet to hit multiple Vorn targets at once. Captain Hero, your stealth ship will gather intelligence, Reed explained, pointing to a star map. The Vorn main fleet is here, moving toward the last Trill colony world. Hero nodded. Silent thunder can slip past their patrols. We'll map their formations. Captain Aid, your fighters will strike their supply lines. Cut them off from reinforcements. The Nigerian captain studied the routes. My pilots can handle it. Hit and run attacks. Keep them chasing shadows. Captain Raj, your cruisers will protect the Trill evacuation ships. Get the survivors to safety. Raj frowned. Defensive position. My ships are combat ready. This is the most important job, Reed said firmly. If we lose, the Trill need to survive. Finally, Reed turned to Sonia. Captain, your battleships will engage their main fleet. Make noise. Lots of noise. Sonia grinned. A distraction. I can do that. While you all keep them busy, Reed continued, I'll lead a strike team to board their command ship. The Horizon has been equipped with Trill cloaking technology. The captains exchanged worried glances. That's suicide, Sonia said bluntly. Maybe, but their leaders control their entire fleet from one ship. If we can take it out, their forces will be in chaos. No one argued further. The plan was set. As the captains returned to their ships, Lynx approached Reed. My people have never witnessed war. It terrifies us. But you humans embrace it. Reed shook his head. We don't embrace war, Ambassador. We endure it. Humans fight because sometimes fighting is the only way to protect what matters. What matters to you? You never met Trill before this mission. Reed thought for a moment. Life matters. Freedom matters. Standing up to bullies matters. The Trill's eyes blinked slowly. You are strange creatures, violent yet kind, aggressive yet protective. That's what it means to be a Deathworlder, Reed said. We learn to survive by taking care of each other. The fleet departed the moon base the next morning. Each ship had its mission. As they prepared to separate, Reed sent one final message. We are humans from Earth. We evolved on a world that tried to kill us. It made us strong. It made us stubborn. It made us fighters. Today, we fight for the Trill. Tomorrow, we go home. The ships vanished into different directions of space. The counterattack had begun. The Vorn had never faced humans before. Their first encounter with Captain Sonya's battleships left them confused. Human ships were smaller, less advanced, but moved with a speed and purpose the Vorn couldn't match. They're running standard attack patterns, reported Sonya's tactical officer, just like the computer predicted. Sonya smiled. They think we'll fight by the book. Show them how humans really fight. The Ursa Major and its sister ships broke formation, each choosing a different path through the Vorn fleet. Where alien commanders expected retreat, humans attacked. Where they expected direct assault, humans slipped away. Their ships are twice our size, Sonya told her crew over the speakers. But size isn't everything. Our ships are faster. Our crews think quicker. Our hearts beat stronger. In another sector, Captain Aid's fighters struck Vorn supply ships, darting in and out before the enemy could respond. The small craft took heavy damage, but kept fighting. Third wing, pull back for repairs, Aid ordered from his carrier. We can still fly, sir, came the response from the wing leader. That's an order. Rotate in fourth wing. Every pilot gets rest. That's how we win. The Trill watched in amazement as human crews worked beyond exhaustion. Where Trill would have collapsed, humans pushed forward. Their bodies, evolved for Earth's harsh conditions, could withstand punishment that would kill other species. Captain Raj's cruisers formed a protective wall around Trill evacuation ships. When Vorn attackers broke through, Raj ordered his crew to use the new Trill shields in ways their creators never imagined. Pulse the shields, he commanded. 3-second bursts. Create a wave effect. The resulting energy surge disabled the nearest Vorn ships. The tactic spread quickly through the human fleet. Meanwhile, Reed's strike team aboard the Horizon approached the massive Vorn command ship. Using Trill cloaking technology, they slipped past outer defenses. Boarding team ready, reported his second-in-command. Reed checked his weapon. Remember, we need to reach their central command. Everything else is secondary. They docked silently at an emergency airlock. 20 human soldiers, the best from each ship, moved quickly through alien corridors. The Vorn they encountered were physically imposing. Tall, with thick armor-like skin. But humans were faster, more adaptable. Command center ahead, whispered the team's scout. Reed nodded. Breach on my signal. The humans burst through the doors, stunning the Vorn commanders inside. For a moment, victory seemed within reach. Then hidden doors opened, and hundreds of Vorn warriors poured in. It's a trap, Reed realized too late. They were surrounded. A Vorn twice Reed's height approached. Unlike the others, this one wore elaborate armor marked with symbols of rank. Commander Reed of Earth, the alien said in perfect English. I am Supreme Commander Drav of the Vorn Dominion. We have been expecting you. Reed kept his weapon raised. How do you know my name? We have studied Earth for many years. Your planet interests us greatly. Drav gestured, and screens activated around the room. They showed images of Earth, cities, oceans, mountains. You attacked the Trill to draw us out, Reed said. Why? Drav's expression was unreadable. Because you are Deathworlders. Because your kind always interferes. Because, given time, humans would become the greatest threat the galaxy has ever known. Reed felt cold realization spread through him. This wasn't about the Trill at all. It was about Earth. The SOS was fake, Reed said, understanding at last. You sent it to test us. Vorn Commander Drav circled Reed slowly. We needed to see how Earth would respond. Your ships, your tactics, your willingness to fight for strangers. Now we know. Reed's team stood back to back, surrounded by Vorn warriors. Their situation looked hopeless. You made one mistake, Reed said. You assumed humans fight alone. At that moment, the ship rocked violently. Alarms blared throughout the command center. Trav turned to his controllers. Report. Human battleship on collision course, a Vorn officer shouted. It's the Ursa Major. On the main screen, Reed watched Captain Sonya's damaged battleship ram into the Vorn command ship's outer ring. The impact tore through armor plating, creating a massive breach. Sonya, Reed whispered. In the confusion, he signaled his team. Move. The humans fought their way back to the ship's corridors. Reed tapped his communicator. All ships, this is Commander Reed. The Vorn targeted Earth from the beginning. This is their command ship. Hit it with everything. Across the battlefield, the human fleet responded. Captain Hero's stealth ship revealed itself, firing directly at the command ship's engines. Captain Aid's fighters streaked through the new breach, dropping bombs on internal systems. Captain Raj's voice came through the comm. We've gotten the last Trill to safety. Redirecting all cruisers to your position, Commander. Reed's team fought their way to a secondary control room. There, their Trill advisor, a technician named Pell, accessed the Vorn network. I found their weakness, Pell said, hands moving quickly over alien controls. Their ships are linked through a central command system. If we override it here, the Vorn ships suddenly lost coordination. Some fired on their own allies. Others drifted powerless. Drav's voice boomed through the ship. Find the humans. Kill them all. Reed led his team toward an escape pod. They were almost there when Vorn troops cut them off. The humans prepared for their final stand. Then the wall behind the Vorn exploded. Through the smoke stepped Captain Sonya, wounded but alive. You're late to your own rescue, Commander, she said with a grin. Your ship, Reed began. Crew evacuated before impact. I stayed to make sure it hit right. She tossed him a weapon. Now let's go home. The combined human fleet unleashed everything they had on the Vorn command ship. Weapons enhanced with Trill technology cut through defenses that once seemed impenetrable. From a safe distance, Ambassador Lynx watched the battle with other Trill survivors. I never understood violence before, Lynx said softly. But now I see there is a time to stand against those who would destroy peace. The Vorn command ship broke apart under the assault. The remaining Vorn vessels retreated, jumping to hyperspace. 1 month later, the Earth fleet returned home. They'd brought Trill allies, advanced technology, and a warning. The galaxy was more dangerous than humans had imagined. On the Horizon's observation deck, Reed stood with Captain Sonya, Captain Hero, Captain Aid, and Captain Raj. We lost good people, Reed said, but we saved a species and protected Earth, and showed the galaxy what Deathworlders can do, added Sonya. Below them, Earth turned slowly, beautiful, and blue. Now the planet had new allies, new technology, and new enemies. But most importantly, the humans of Earth had proven something to themselves. They were ready for the stars. The Space Monitoring Station, Watchpoint Alpha, floated silently in the darkness of space. Inside, Officer Tom Reed stared at his screen, his eyes growing wide. Sir, I think you need to see this, Tom called out, his voice shaking slightly. Station Chief Jack Wilson walked over quickly. He was a tall man with short gray hair and deep wrinkles around his eyes from years of watching the stars. What is it, Reed? He asked, leaning over the younger man's shoulder. A signal, sir. Not like anything we've seen before. It's coming from the Proxima sector. Jack frowned. The Proxima sector was far away and known to be dangerous. Few ships went there, and even fewer returned. Are you sure it's not just space noise? Tom shook his head. No, sir. It has a pattern. Look. He pointed to the screen where a series of lights blinked in a strange but clear pattern. I think it's a distress call. Jack studied the screen for a long moment. Send this to Earth Command right away. Mark it top priority. Commander Alex Reynolds sat in the big meeting room at Earth Command. The walls were lined with screens showing star maps and ship locations. The room was filled with 20 people in military uniforms, all talking at once. Admiral Green, the head of the Space Fleet, raised his hand for quiet. We've called you here because we received a strange signal. It appears to be a distress call from deep space. The room grew silent as the signal played. It was a series of beeps and strange sounds that made no sense to human ears. Our computers have partly decoded it, Admiral Green continued. It contains coordinates in the Proxima sector and some damage data about an attack. It could be a trap, said General Lin, frowning. The Proxima sector isn't friendly space. Commander Reynolds listened carefully. He was a middle-aged man with dark hair and sharp eyes. He had seen many things in his years of space travel, both good and bad. Whether it's a trap or not, someone needs help, Reynolds said, standing up. If we ignore this call, what does that say about us as humans? Admiral Green nodded slowly. Commander Reynolds makes a good point, but we can't send the whole fleet on a maybe. Then send me, Reynolds said. Give me a small team and a fast ship. We'll check it out and report back. The room filled with voices again, some arguing for caution, others for action. Finally, Admiral Green raised his hand again. Enough. Commander Reynolds, you have permission to investigate. Take the scout ship Intrepid and a team of 10. Your mission is to find the source of this signal and determine if help is needed. Nothing more. Reynolds nodded. Thank you, sir. We won't let you down. 3 days later, the Intrepid prepared to leave Earth's orbit. It was a small, fast ship built for speed and stealth rather than combat. Reynolds looked at his team as they took their positions. They were the best. Pilots, engineers, doctors, and soldiers. All volunteers. This won't be easy, Reynolds told them. We don't know what we'll find out there, but something or someone is asking for help, and we're going to answer. Engineer Pat Davis looked up from her control panel. The engines are ready, Commander. We can leave whenever you give the word. Reynolds took a deep breath and sat in the captain's chair. The stars shone brightly on the main screen in front of him. Send a message to Earth Command. Tell them we're moving out, he ordered. Then set course for the Proxima sector, maximum speed. As the Intrepid turned and accelerated away from Earth, Reynolds couldn't help but wonder what they would find at the end of their journey. A new friend, a dangerous enemy, or something no human had ever seen before. Whatever it was, they would face it together. That's what humans did best. The scout ship Intrepid dropped out of faster-than-light travel with a flash of blue light. The ship shuddered slightly as it adjusted to normal space. Location confirmed, said pilot Rob Turner. We've reached the coordinates from the distress signal. Commander Reynolds stood from his chair and walked to the main viewport. The stars looked different here, in the Proxima sector. Brighter, somehow. More dangerous. Life signs? Reynolds asked. Medical officer Lisa Jones checked her screens. Very faint, but yes, something's out there. I see it, called out navigator Mike Thompson. 2 o'clock, about 10,000 kilometers away. Reynolds turned to look at the main screen. There, barely visible against the blackness of space, floated a ship, or what was left of one. It was unlike any human vessel Reynolds had ever seen. The alien ship was curved like a leaf, with a soft blue glow coming from its damaged hull. Scan it, Reynolds ordered. Already on it, replied Science Officer Annabelle. The ship is badly damaged. Life support is failing. I count 6 life forms aboard. Their vital signs are weak. Reynolds made his decision quickly. Move us closer. Prepare a boarding team. Dr. Jones, you're with me. Let's bring medical supplies." 20 minutes later, Reynolds led a team of 5 through the airlock and onto the alien vessel. They wore their spacesuits, not knowing if the air would be breathable. The inside of the alien ship was as strange as the outside. The walls seemed almost alive, pulsing with a faint light. Everything was curved, with no sharp edges anywhere. "This way," Reynolds said, following the signal from his scanner. "Life signs are stronger now." They moved carefully through the ship until they reached what looked like a control room. There, they found the aliens. The creatures were nothing like humans. They were tall and thin, with 4 arms and skin that changed colors like a chameleon. Their eyes were large and completely black, with no visible pupils. One of the aliens stepped forward. It was clearly injured, with a dark purple liquid seeping from a wound on its side. "Hello," Reynolds said, keeping his voice calm and friendly. "We received your distress call. We're here to help." The alien didn't respond with words. Instead, a gentle humming filled Reynolds' mind, followed by images and feelings. Somehow, the alien was communicating directly with his thoughts. "They're telepathic," Dr. Jones whispered in awe. More images flowed into Reynolds' mind. The alien ship under attack by dark, shadowy vessels. The desperate escape. The sending of the distress call. "I think I understand," Reynolds said slowly. "You were attacked. You need help." The alien's skin shifted to a pale blue color, and the humming in Reynolds' mind changed tone. Somehow, he knew this meant yes. "I am Cora," the alien communicated through thoughts. "Captain of this vessel. We are Tellurians. Thank you for coming." Reynolds removed his helmet, trusting his instincts. The air was breathable, if a bit thin. "I'm Commander Alex Reynolds, of the Human Galactic Alliance. We'll do everything we can to help you." Cora's skin flickered with colors. "Humans, you are Deathworlders, from the heavy planet." Images of Earth appeared in Reynolds' mind. "We call to you because of your strength, your reputation." "Deathworlders," repeated Engineer Pat Davis, confused. Another alien stepped forward, this one smaller than Cora. "Your world, Earth. It is classified as a death world. High gravity, extreme weather, many predators. You evolved to survive there. You are stronger than most species." Reynolds looked at his team, seeing the surprise on their faces. They had never thought of Earth as particularly dangerous. "The Void Collective attacked our colony," Cora continued in their thoughts. "They will return. We need help. Deathworlder help." Reynolds nodded slowly. "We'll take you back to our ship first, treat your injuries. Then we'll talk about this Void Collective." As they helped the Tellurians to the Intrepid, Reynolds couldn't help but wonder what they had gotten themselves into. Their simple rescue mission had just become much more complicated. The journey back to Earth was quiet. The Tellurians stayed mostly in the medical bay, where their wounds slowly healed. Commander Reynolds spent hours talking with Captain Cora, learning about their people and the threat they faced. On the 5th day, the Intrepid reached Earth orbit. A message waited for them from Admiral Green. "Report directly to Alliance headquarters. Full security. No delays." Reynolds looked at Cora, who stood beside him on the bridge. "Are you ready to meet our leaders?" Cora's skin rippled with colors of blue and gold. "We are nervous, but hopeful." The landing pad at Alliance headquarters was surrounded by guards. As Reynolds led the Tellurians down the ramp, he noticed many weapons pointed their way. Not a warm welcome. Admiral Green waited with the Alliance Council, 12 men and women who made decisions for all of humanity in space. Their faces were serious as they watched the aliens approach. "Commander Reynolds," Admiral Green said stiffly, "I see your mission was successful." Reynolds nodded. "Yes, sir. May I present Captain Cora of the Tellurian ship Starlight. They have come seeking our help." The room they entered was large and circular. The council sat at a raised table, looking down at Reynolds and the Tellurians. Screens around the room showed images of Earth's fleet and maps of known space. "Tell us why we should risk human lives for your problem," said Counselor Martinez, her voice cold. Cora stepped forward. Instead of speaking, the alien sent images directly into the minds of everyone present. The council members gasped in surprise. The images showed the Void Collective's attack. Huge black ships with sharp edges surrounding a peaceful Tellurian colony. Buildings burning. People dying. The Void Collective believes only the strong should survive, Cora explained through thoughts. They destroy those they see as weak. We are peaceful. We cannot fight as they do. "Why come to us?" asked Admiral Green. "There are other species closer to your world." "Because of what you are," Cora replied. Their skin changed to show an image of Earth. "Your world is classified as a death world in galactic records. High gravity, deadly weather, many predators. You evolved to survive there." The council looked at each other in surprise. "Humans are physically stronger than most species," Cora continued. "You can endure pain, lack of food, extreme temperatures, things that would kill others. The Void Collective fears Deathworlders. They avoid your space. This is why we called to you." Reynolds stepped forward. "The Tellurians have advanced technology they're willing to share. They need our strength. We need their knowledge." Counselor Wilson frowned. "This could lead to war. Many humans could die. If the Void Collective destroys the Tellurians, they will come for Earth next," Reynolds argued. "Better to fight them there, with allies, than here alone." The council talked among themselves for hours. Reynolds and Cora waited patiently outside the chamber. Finally, they were called back in. Admiral Green stood. "The Alliance Council has made its decision. Earth will help the Tellurians against the Void Collective. We will form an alliance and send a fleet." Cora's skin glowed bright with joy and relief. "Thank you. My people will not forget this." "Commander Reynolds," Admiral Green continued, "you are promoted to captain. You will serve on the flagship Defiance under Admiral Morgan. The fleet leaves in 10 days. As they left the chamber, Reynolds looked at Cora. "Well, it looks like we're going to war." Cora's skin showed swirls of blue and silver. "Together, Deathworlders and Tellurians. The Void Collective will not expect this." Reynolds smiled grimly. "No, they won't. And that might just give us the edge we need." The human fleet buzzed with activity. 10 days wasn't much time to prepare for war, but humans were good at adapting quickly. The flagship Defiance sat at the center of the fleet, a massive vessel that dwarfed the other 30 ships. Inside Defiance, newly promoted Captain Reynolds walked with Admiral Morgan through the busy hallways. Morgan was a stern woman with sharp eyes and a reputation for brilliant tactics. "The Tellurians have given us their technology as promised," Morgan said. "Our engineers are working day and night to add it to our ships." They entered the command center, where large screens showed the fleet's progress. Cora stood with a group of human officers, their skin changing colors as they shared information directly into the officers' minds. "It's amazing," Reynolds said. "Their technology is years ahead of ours. But they have no concept of warfare," Morgan replied. "They've never needed it. That's where we come in." The Admiral pointed to a screen showing the Void Collective's previous attacks. "Look at how they fight. Always the same pattern. Surround, cut off escape routes, then attack from all sides. They're powerful but predictable." Reynolds studied the images. "They've never faced humans before." Morgan smiled. "Exactly. And that's our advantage." Major Lee, a young officer, hurried over. "Yes, Admiral. Show Captain Reynolds what you've been working on." Major Lee brought up a new set of images on the screen. "We've been studying Earth's history of warfare. The Void Collective fights like a machine. Efficient but inflexible. We fight with creativity." The screen showed ancient battles from Earth's past. Roman legions, Mongolian horsemen, naval tactics from World War II, and modern space combat drills. "Humans have been fighting each other for thousands of years," Lee explained. "We know how to adapt, how to surprise an enemy, how to win against the odds. Reynolds nodded. The Tellurians said Earth is a death world. We evolved to survive in harsh conditions. And to fight, Morgan added. The Void Collective doesn't know what's coming for them. Later that day, Reynolds joined a training exercise in the ship's large simulation room. Human soldiers worked alongside Tellurians, practicing tactics against virtual Void Collective ships. Again, shouted Training Officer Martinez. Humans, remember the Tellurians can't handle the same G-forces you can. Tellurians, use your mind link to warn humans when you sense danger. Reynolds watched as the teams improved with each run. The humans were learning to protect the physically weaker Tellurians, while the Tellurians used their mental abilities to enhance the humans' reaction times. They're getting better, said Cora, appearing beside Reynolds. Their skin showed patterns of blue and green, hope and determination. Yes, they are, Reynolds agreed. But will it be enough? The Void Collective is moving toward our homeworld, Cora said quietly. We received word today. We have less time than we thought. Reynolds frowned. How long? 3 weeks, perhaps less. Reynolds turned to look at the training teams. Then we need to leave sooner than planned. I'll talk to Admiral Morgan. That night, the fleet commanders gathered on the Defiance for a final meeting. Intelligence reports confirmed the Void Collective is moving toward the Tellurian homeworld. Admiral Morgan announced. We leave tomorrow at 600 hours. The room was silent for a moment. We're ready, Reynolds said finally. The fleet is as prepared as it can be. Morgan nodded. Remember, we're not just fighting for the Tellurians. If the Void Collective wins, Earth could be next. We stop them here together. As the meeting ended, Reynolds looked out a viewport at the Earth below. Soon they would be far from home, fighting an enemy humans had never seen before. But that was what humans did best: face the unknown and survive. For Earth and Telluria, he whispered to himself, let's show them what Deathworlders can do. The human Tellurian fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the Tellus Prime system. Tellus Prime was the outermost Tellurian colony, a small but important mining outpost. On the bridge of the flagship Defiance, Admiral Morgan studied the tactical displays while Captain Reynolds and Cora stood nearby. No sign of the Void Collective yet, Morgan said, but our scouts report they're close. We should set up defenses around the colony, Reynolds suggested. The people there don't know we're coming. Morgan nodded. Good idea. Take a small team to the surface, explain the situation and prepare them. An hour later, Reynolds led a shuttle down to Tellus Prime. The colony was beautiful crystal buildings that caught the light of the system's blue sun. The Tellurians there were shocked to see humans, but welcomed them when Cora explained the alliance. The Void Collective has attacked 3 colonies already. The colony leader told them, we feared we would be next. You will be, Reynolds said grimly. But this time, you won't face them alone. They were setting up defense stations when the alarm sounded. The Void Collective had arrived. From space, the enemy ships looked like black stars, jagged and menacing. There were dozens of them, more than the human Tellurian fleet. All ships, battle positions. Admiral Morgan's voice came through the comms. Remember your training. Reynolds rushed back to his shuttle. Get your people to the shelters, he told the colony leader. We'll handle this. As the shuttle raced back to the Defiance, Reynolds saw the first attacks begin. The Void Collective ships moved with mechanical precision, forming a perfect circle around the human fleet. They're using standard tactics, Morgan reported when Reynolds reached the bridge. Just as we expected. Then let's show them something unexpected, Reynolds replied. Morgan smiled and turned to her communications officer. Send the signal. Operation Thunderstorm begins now. The human fleet suddenly broke formation. Instead of meeting the enemy head-on, the ships scattered in all directions, seemingly in chaos. The Void Collective hesitated, their perfect circle wavering. They're confused, Cora said, their skin flashing with excitement. They expect order, not chaos. Humans know that sometimes disorder is the best strategy. Morgan replied. Phase 2. The human ships regrouped into smaller teams, attacking the collective's formation from multiple angles. The battle became a wild dance of light and fire. Reynolds watched the tactical display, his heart racing. The Tellurian ships are staying back as planned. Cora nodded. Yes. Our ships provide support and healing. Your ships do the fighting. A massive explosion lit up the view screen as one of the collective's largest ships burst into flames. Direct hit, shouted the weapons officer. Their command ship is damaged. Perfect, Reynolds said. Admiral, permission to lead the boarding team. Morgan looked at him sharply. That's risky, Captain. We need their battle plans. This is our chance. After a moment, Morgan nodded. Go, but come back alive. Reynolds led a team of 20 human soldiers and 5 Tellurians onto a small, fast ship. As they approached the damaged collective vessel, Reynolds felt a strange calm. This was what humans did best, facing danger head-on. Remember, he told his team, we're stronger than they expect. Faster, more adaptable. We're Deathworlders. The team cheered as their ship docked with the enemy vessel. The battle for Tellus Prime had begun, and the Void Collective was about to learn what it meant to face humans in combat. The Void Collective was angry. After losing the battle at Tellus Prime, they sent a massive attack force toward the human supply ships. Their black vessels moved like shadows through space, deadly and silent. Admiral Morgan watched them approach on the main screen of the Defiance. They took the bait, she said with a small smile. Captain Waters, signal the hidden fleet. Spring the trap. What the collective didn't know was that the supply ships were mostly empty. The real supplies had been moved days earlier. Now the ships served a different purpose, as bait. As the collective ships closed in, 20 human warships suddenly appeared from behind a nearby moon. They had been hiding there, engines off, waiting. Attack pattern Delta, Morgan ordered. Hit them hard and fast. On one of those hidden ships, Captain Reynolds gripped his chair as his vessel accelerated toward the enemy. They didn't expect this, he said to Cora, who stood beside him. They thought we were predictable, like them. The battle was fierce. The Void Collective ships were powerful, but they were caught by surprise. Human ships darted between them, firing from unexpected angles, refusing to follow normal battle patterns. Sir, called out Navigation Officer Palmer, the collective flagship is changing course. They're heading for the asteroid field. Reynolds studied the tactical display. They're trying to use the asteroids for cover. Follow them in. But sir, Palmer protested, the radiation levels in that field are extremely high. Our shields won't protect us completely. The collective doesn't know that humans can handle more radiation than most species, Reynolds replied. We can follow them. They can't hide there. The chase through the asteroid field was dangerous. Rocks the size of buildings floated everywhere, and the radiation alarms blared constantly. Many crew members began to feel sick, but they kept working. Tellurians, stay in the shielded areas, Reynolds ordered. Human crew, rotate shifts every 15 minutes to limit exposure. The plan worked. While the collective ships tried to hide, human vessels pushed deeper into the field, tracking them relentlessly. The humans were tired and sick from the radiation, but they kept fighting. This is what makes us Deathworlders, Reynolds told his crew. We endure what others cannot. Meanwhile, in space above the Tellurian homeworld, Admiral Morgan faced the collective's Supreme Commander Vex. The enemy leader had sent a message directly to the Defiance. Human leader, Vex said, his voice cold and mechanical. Your species is new to us. You fight differently, but you cannot win. Surrender now and your deaths will be quick. Morgan laughed. We don't surrender. That's not what humans do. Then I challenge you, Vex replied. One ship against one ship. Your best against mine. The loser's fleet retreats. The bridge crew looked at Morgan. It was clearly a trap. Except, came a thought voice. It was the Tellurian High Leader, whose skin glowed with certainty, but not as they expect. Morgan nodded slowly. Tell Commander Vex I accept his challenge. 1 hour from now, near the third moon. When the communication ended, Morgan turned to her crew. Contact Captain Reynolds. I need his strike team. It's time for the final phase of our plan. In the asteroid field, Reynolds received the message. Understood, Admiral. We're on our way. As his ship turned toward the Tellurian homeworld, Reynolds looked at Cora. Are you ready for this? Cora's skin changed to a deep, determined red. Yes, it is time to show the collective that strength comes in many forms. The final battle was about to begin, and the fate of 2 species hung in the balance. The sky above the Tellurian homeworld filled with ships. The remaining Void Collective vessels formed a tight formation, protecting their massive superweapon. This terrible device could destroy an entire planet, and they had brought it to end the war once and for all. Admiral Morgan's challenge to Commander Vex had been accepted, but with a twist. Instead of ship against ship, Morgan had proposed a different kind of battle. They expect us to fight by their rules, Morgan told the gathered fleet captains. We won't. That's the human way. Reynolds led his special strike team toward the collective superweapon in 3 small, fast ships. His team included both humans and Tellurians, working together in perfect harmony. 5 minutes to target, said Pilot Turner. Collective ships are focused on the main fleet. They haven't seen us yet. Reynolds nodded. Good. Remember, we only get one chance at this. The plan was daring, even by human standards. While the main fleet distracted the collective, Reynolds' team would board the superweapon and disable it from within. I still don't understand how we'll get past their guards, said Lieutenant Garcia, checking her weapon. There will be hundreds of them. That's where our Tellurian friends come in, Reynolds replied, turning to Cora and the other Tellurians. Cora's skin glowed with determination. We cannot fight as you do, but our minds can create confusion. The small ships docked with the superweapon, attaching like ticks to a giant beast. The team moved quickly through the airlock, expecting immediate resistance, but the corridors were strangely empty. The Tellurians are already working, Reynolds explained as they moved forward. The enemy can't see us clearly. Their minds are confused. In the main battle, Admiral Morgan watched as the collective ships moved in strange patterns, as if their pilots were suddenly unsure how to fly. It's working, she said softly. Reynolds' team is inside. The Tellurians are using their mental powers. Reynolds led his team deeper into the superweapon. When they did meet collective soldiers, the aliens moved slowly, their eyes unfocused. The humans disabled them quickly and continued on. The control room should be ahead, Cora thought spoke to Reynolds. Their skin was pale from the effort of maintaining the mental shield. We cannot hold this confusion much longer. Reynolds nodded. All teams, prepare for final push. Remember your Earth training. The humans had studied how Earth animals survived in deadly situations. Some used speed, others strength. Some worked together in groups. All these lessons they now used against the collective. The control room door opened, and there stood Commander Vex himself. He was tall and gray, with sharp features and cold eyes. Deathworlders, he hissed. You should not exist. The universe has rules. Order. You bring chaos. We bring life, Reynolds replied. Different doesn't mean wrong. The final fight was short but fierce. Vex was strong, but he had never faced humans before. He didn't understand their determination, their willingness to endure pain, their refusal to give up. When it was over, Reynolds stood at the superweapons control panel. With Cora's guidance, he shut it down permanently. Send the message, he told his communications officer. Tell the collective it's over. Their weapon is disabled. Their commander is defeated. Across the battlefield, the collective ships began to retreat. Without their leader, without their superweapon, they had no will to continue. 1 month later, Reynolds stood with Cora on the Tellurian homeworld. The sky was clear again, the threat gone. "What will you do now?" Cora asked, their skin showing curious patterns of blue and green. Reynolds smiled. "We'll explore together, humans and Tellurians, not as Deathworlders and peaceful beings, but as friends who make each other stronger." Above them, a new ship waited, the Unity, the first vessel built by both species together. "The stars are waiting," Reynolds said, looking up. "Let's go see what's out there."